so many wonderful sponsors of this event. I know that Saint-Gobain is here. They've been a terrific member of the Clinton Global Initiative. We want more and more companies to come here and be part of the council to agree that the way forward is the sustainable way.
Hillary Rodham Clinton addressing some 10,000 people at the Greenbuild Expo in Philadelphia all this past week. And she called out a company that actually is the parent company, Saint-Gobain. Saint-Gobain is the parent company of CertainTeed. So today we want to bring back again Lucas Hamilton, Stan Gatland from CertainTeed. And that had to be a proud moment to have the former First Lady, former Secretary Clinton calling out your company to say this is a role model for the rest of the world.
Yeah, for sure, it's great to get recognized. I mean, you do a lot of work, and you certainly hope that people, in the end, credit all the effort.
And for you?
Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, one thing they're trying to get Saint-Gobain's brand awareness up because it doesn't just roll off the tongue. CertainTeed has some brand awareness to combine the two is a really good thing. For the company. And
when you say brand awareness, it's interesting to me that you've been in the King of Prussia region, Montgomery County, for what, like 100 years, and I don't know that it's a company that maybe you need to. You're not like a brag. You don't brag a lot. You're not a company that brags a lot. You're more of a doer than a talker.
Yeah, there's never been a big focus on retail advertising, but it's the #1 recognized brand among construction trades, and that's the most important thing, that people working in the construction business know the brand, and that was always the focus.
Absolutely. So tell me what's going on at the Navy Yard. A lot going on at the Philadelphia Navy Yard.
Yeah, I mean, for the Navy Yard, we've been involved with the project now for, I guess 2.5 years. It's with the university, Penn State, so sometimes they take longer than you'd like, but we this past spring broke ground, and you can see that on the video, the elapsed time footage. But it was done by a modular builder in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where the bulk of the physical construction was done, and then they shipped 7 basically module units down to the Navy Yard and assembled them in place on top of a foundation that was constructed there. So it was really exciting. We just had our groundbreaking on October 30th. A lot of neat stuff went into the house besides our materials to build the building envelope and make it really thermally efficient, airtight. A lot of things good for air quality. We used a number of our unique, innovative gypsum solutions to help provide a better indoor environment from an air quality as well as acoustics. So our Silent FX product as well as our Air Renew. And as far as the building envelope goes, it's extremely energy efficient, but it's done so that you can do this, you can buy all these materials in the marketplace and do the same thing. It's not so exotic that any person or any builder couldn't do the same thing. So.
One of the things that I found interesting about the Greenbuild Expo was that what they were saying to companies like CertainTeed is, hey, this is good. Maybe the builders and the architects know this is good, but we need to educate the public. And there was an actual call to educate the public, which is one of the reasons we're doing this show. I mean, one of the things I talk about after being a newswoman for so many decades of my life is, let's not talk about the problems, let's talk about the solutions. So you and what you're doing is part of the solution. Not just for the environment, not just to save money, but it's all part of the solution. But you've got to get that word out.
Right, and that's difficult sometimes because people don't seem to spend a lot of their resources or their very limited free time in researching these issues, unless perhaps they're designing a home for the first time. Then they get really involved. But I think a lot of people walk right past the everyday opportunities in the home they're in today to do things to improve the sustainability of the home and do everyday things differently. To make it better. So it's hard to get the word out, again, with the rush or everything else going on about this issue.
Yeah, I think so. I think the interesting thing I find, I don't know how you feel about this, but with my kids, Michael and David, they're 7 and 9, and they talk about, in their science classes and all of that, they're talking about sustainability. They're talking about saving energy. Michael goes around the house, turns off the light bulbs, unplugs things, says, the energy is still coming out of there. Even if so the great thing is our kids, I think, are way ahead of a lot of us grown-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, with that's just funny because I'm always turning the lights out. And my dad actually flicks them on just to have me go around and turn off the lights when he comes to visit. But
Just to make you crazy.
yeah, well, I didn't even notice, so I just keep doing it. But yeah, with the kids, they learn earlier and they understand it, and it just makes it easier down the road when they're going to just assume that's when they get to a point where they can purchase big items like homes, that it's available. And by the time that they're that old, it should be, because it's a real slow process, but it's still going in the right direction.
But I found it was interesting at the Greenbuild Expo. They were actually, that was one of the mantras. They were just giving out an all call and saying, hey, wherever you can, we need to get out and educate the public on why this is important. This is not just for scientists or builders. This is for all of us.
It is spreading. I mean, it's becoming more every day. Some of the things that were stretch programs and ideas, 10 years ago, are becoming more standard practice today in the products that you're buying or the way we're doing things. And the building code adopts and changes along the way to get more stringent, more performance-based. And so it is all moving, and hopefully when, starting with the youth, that it does become the standard. It becomes a standard way of doing things and not some exceptional way.
Yeah, I loved what you said to me, Lucas, when we were talking about the numbers that were going out at Greenbuild, and they said this is more than $150 billion industry worldwide, and then you said, well, you have to look at that in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to extrapolate going forward what is green construction versus what is standard construction, because it is becoming normalized that this is the new way of doing it. So perhaps green 10 years from now, or will have pushed the bar even further in some aspect or dimension than we're doing today, because we're really starting to dial in the envelope really well, the building. We're really getting it fine-tuned. So then once, there will be a point where we'll hit the wall with that, where literally that we're going to run out of things we can do to it without drastic changes, and then it becomes a lot of behavior modification.
Well, speaking of that, when we come right back here on the Dawn Show, we're going to show what you're doing. You referenced working with the youth. So we're going to see what young people are doing, how they're getting excited and going green, and we'll show you how you can save money when we come right back.